So in the previous class, we have gone through stresses due to self weight and wind load on a chimney. So the assumptions was the reinforcement is replaced by steel ring. So we are replacing the vertical reinforcement to an equivalent uh, steel ring of same area. The stresses at the middle of the shell is taken as the average stress in the cell. So the average stresses are considered at the middle of the shell. Let us assume that the wind load acts from right to left. So the face on the left side will be under compression, uh, and the face on the right side will be under tension, and this is the neutral axis. So W is the self weight, M is the moment due to the wind load, AS is the area of the reinforcement in vertical direction, so area of the vertical steel, and R is the radius up to the center of the cell. So this R is the radius up to the center of the cell, because we are finding the stresses at the middle of the shell, and TS be the thickness of the ring, which is equal to AS by 2 pi R. We are converting this reinforcement, vertical reinforcement, into equivalent steel ring, so divide by 2 pi R. TC is the thickness of the concrete shell. So this thickness of the concrete shell is TC, and TS is the thickness of the steel ring. So this steel ring is also provided at the center. Steel is provided at the center. So this is shown with red, and its thickness is TS. Then AB is the neutral axis. This is the this line is the neutral axis, which cuts the steel ring or the center of the shell at AB. Alpha is the angle subtended by the neutral axis. So this angle, angle subtended by A, if this is O, then AOX, this angle is alpha, and BOX, this is also alpha. Okay, so this angle is alpha, this angle is alpha. So that is the angle subtended by the neutral axis at the center of the shell with the x-axis. And M is the modular ratio, and sigma C is the compressive stress in concrete, and sigma S is the tensile stress in steel. So now let us consider a small segment on the compression phase. So at an angle theta with the x-axis. So we are considering this small element r d theta at an angle theta with the x-axis, which is in compression. Similarly, we also consider a small element called r d phi at an angle phi with the x-axis. Okay, the small element on the compression side is then integrated to get the total compressive force. Similarly, the small element r d theta, which will be on the tension phase, which will be again integrated to find the total tension on the cell. Then this is the stress diagram. So sigma C is the compressive stress in concrete, and sigma S is the tensile stress in steel. So we find the stress at the level of the small element, because we are going to then integrate it for the entire this length. So so let the stress corresponding to this small element be sigma C dash. Similarly, the stress corresponding to this small element on tension side be sigma S dash. So and then we can also find its distance. So this small element is located at a distance r cos theta from the center of the shell. Similarly, this small element on tension side is located at a distance r cos phi from the center line, and the neutral axis is located at a distance of r cos phi, where r is the radius of the shell. Okay, so so the distance of the small element from the neutral axis will be r cos theta, that is this r cos theta plus r cos alpha. So that will be the distance from the neutral axis. Okay, similarly the distance of the small element on the tension side will be r cos phi, that is this r cos phi, and from that you have to deduct r cos alpha, so you will get this distance. Okay, you will get this distance. Okay, so that is r cos phi minus r cos alpha. Okay, where this total distance, the distance of the extreme fiber on tension side will be r minus r cos alpha. Okay, and similarly the distance on the extreme compression phase will be r plus r cos alpha from the neutral axis. So we find the compressive stress, compressive force. So for that we consider let sigma c dash be the compressive stress in small element, r d theta on compression side. So the so sigma c dash will be we know that here the stress is 0 and at distance r plus r cos alpha the stress is sigma c. So the stress at sigma c dash will be r plus r cos theta plus r cos alpha divided by r plus r cos alpha into sigma c. This is from the geometry of triangle. So you will get sigma c dash is equals to cos theta plus cos alpha upon 1 plus cos alpha times sigma c. Now the area of the concrete in the small element will be r d theta times its thickness. Okay, the small this length of the small element times its thickness. So thickness is tc. So multiply by tc, and the area of the steel in the strip will be r d theta times ts. Okay, but now we convert this ts into equivalent concrete. So equivalent concrete area of the steel in the element will be equal to m minus 1 times ts times r d theta. So we are converting the steel into equivalent concrete. So the total compressive force will be equal to 2 times 0 to pi minus alpha. 2 times means we are considering from 0 to alpha, pi minus alpha. If this theta is 0, then this will be the line, and from that we have to integrate up to this line b. So it will be pi minus alpha. So this angle will be pi minus alpha. Okay, similarly this angle is also pi minus alpha. So we are multiplying with 2. So we are integrating it 0 to pi minus alpha r times d theta tc times cos theta plus cos alpha upon 1 plus cos alpha times sigma c. So this is the area multiplied by its stress. So area multiplied by stress, you will get the compressive force in due to the concrete section. And similarly for the tension, it will be 2 times 0 to pi minus alpha m minus 1 ts r d theta, which is the equivalent area of the equivalent concrete area of steel. So multiply by the corresponding stress, that is the cos theta plus cos alpha upon 1 plus cos alpha into sigma c. So then we integrate this. Okay, so we'll get this. Okay, here this cos alpha is constant. Cos alpha is constant. So that means integration of cos alpha d theta will be equal to theta times cos alpha, because it is equal to, you can take cos alpha as common, so it will be integration d theta, which will be equal to theta. So that is why this term is there. So finally you will get compressive forces R 2r sigma c by 1 plus cos alpha t times tc plus m minus 1 times ts whole multiplied by sin alpha plus pi minus alpha cos alpha. Then similarly, we have to find the tensile force. So this tensile force, we consider the small element on the right side, that is this on the tension side. So we integrate the tensile force due to this small element r d theta over the length 0 to alpha. Okay, because this is alpha. Okay. So 2 times 0 to alpha r d pi ts m sigma c r cos pi minus r cos alpha divided by r plus r cos alpha plus 0, because there is the concrete is ignored on the tension phase. So that is why there is no contribution from the concrete. Only the steel will be contribution from the steel will be there, which we are converting it into equivalent concrete by multiplying the modular ratio. So 2r sigma c m ts upon 1 plus cos alpha times, if you integrate this, it will be sin pi minus pi cos alpha. Again, the cos alpha is constant, so integration pi will be d pi will be integration d pi will be pi. You limit put the upper and lower limit, so you will get final tensile force is equals to 2r sigma c m ts upon 1 plus cos alpha whole multiplied by sin alpha minus alpha cos alpha. Now for equilibrium of forces in vertical direction, W equals to C minus T. So you will get W is equals to 2r sigma c upon 1 plus cos alpha times Tc minus Ts whole multiplied by sin alpha plus pi minus alpha times cos alpha plus m times Ts times cos alpha. And for moment equilibrium condition gives moment is equals to 0 to pi minus alpha c times r cos theta, means if c is the compressive force, so c multiplied by r times r cos theta plus r cos alpha. Similarly, this will be equal to t into r cos pi d pi. हॅलो, लेक्चर चालू, फोन करतात मला. So this t is located at a distance, it will be multiplied by r cos pi, and this will be multiplied by r cos theta. Okay, the distance from the center is, we are taking the moment at this center. So c into r cos theta and t into r cos pi. So that will be the moment at the center. So it will be c times r cos theta plus t times r cos pi. Okay. Now substitute the value of c and t, and then you integrate this, you will get the moment as 2r square sigma c 1 plus cos alpha tc minus th sin 2 alpha by 4 plus pi minus alpha by 2 plus m ts by 2 times pi, and eccentricity is given by moment by the vertical load, so that will give you this eccentricity. Then by trial and error, you obtain the value of alpha which satisfies this eccentricity. So from that you can find sigma c, and then from that sigma c you can find the stress in steel. Now next is the stress in the horizontal reinforcement. Now the stresses in the horizontal reinforcement is produced due to the shear. So due to shear, the stresses develop in horizontal reinforcement. Okay, let H be the horizontal shear on the section D be the diameter of chimney, D1 be the distance between reinforcements on both sides, and S be the spacing of hook bars, A5 be the horizontal hook bar in pitch S mm. Okay, so let us understand this by a section. Consider a small segment of the chimney. We are considering only portion of the chimney. This is the vertical reinforcement, and these are the hook bars which are provided in the form of ring. The spacing between these bars is S. Okay, so this is the S spacing between the hook bars. These are the hook bars. Okay, and D1 is the distance between the reinforcements on both the sides. So this distance is D1, and this is the diameter of the chimney. That is D. Okay, and A5 is the area of the reinforcements of these hoop bars in within this pitch. Okay, within this pitch length, the reinforcement hoop is the A5. The area of the horizontal hoop bar is A5. So we can find the area of steel in 1 meter height. It will be equal to 2 times A5, because on both sides we have this A5, A5, it will be 2 A5. This is also space, this spacing is also S. So 2 times A5 multiplied by, we are finding it in 1 meter length, so multiply by 1000, because your pitch is in mm, divided by S. So you will get this in 1 meter length, the area of the hoop bars. Now if sigma S is equal to stress in steel, if sigma S is the stress in steel, then the shear force resisted by the reinforcement, shear force resisted by steel will be equal to this area 2 A5 times 1000 divided by S multiplied by this stress sigma S. So you will get the shear force resisted by the steel. Now which we also called as Vs, shear resisted by the shear reinforcement, Vs. Okay. Now next is we find the shear force per meter height, per meter height. So that will be equal to H is the total horizontal force. See, the horizontal force acting on the section is, let us say this is H. This is the horizontal force acting on the section. So H multiplied by 1000 divided by the lever arm distance. So now if H is the horizontal force, then the shear resisted by the ring will be, this will be, the shear developed in the bars will be like this. Okay. So this will be this shear will be resist this horizontal force. So H times 1000 divided by this D1 will be the value of this shear. Divided by D1, where D1 is the lever arm okay. So this we also called as BU. Okay, that is due to shear. So equating this, let us say this is 1 and this is 2. Equating these two, equating 1 and 2, 2a5 into 1000 divided by S multiplied by sigma S, that will be equal to H times 1000 divided by D1. So this 1000 gets cancelled. So you will get sigma S is equals to H, that is the horizontal force, times S. S is the pitch of the hook bars, divided by 2a5, where a5 is the area of the hook bars within the pitch length S, times d1. Okay, so this is the uh, horizontal. This is the stress developed in the steel due to the horizontal force H. Okay, clear? So the stresses due to horizontal reinforcement are generated due to the shear on the section. So let H be the horizontal shear on the section, D be the diameter of the chimney, and D1 be the distance between the bars on both the sides, and S is the spacing of the hook bars, and A5 is the area of the hook bars within the pitch length S. So the area of the steel in 1 meter will be 2 times A5 on both the sides, so it is multiplied by 2 times A5 times 1 meter height, we are finding it in 1 meter, so multiply by 1000 divided by S, because S is in mm, so we have to convert this 1 meter into mm, so it is 1000 divided by S. So you will get the area of the steel in 1 meter length, in the 1 meter height. Then if sigma S is the stress in the steel, uh, the stress in this horizontal bar is sigma S, then you can find the shear force resisted by the steel, which is equals to Vs is equals to 2 times A5 times 1000 by S times sigma S, means the area of the steel multiplied by the stress, you will get the shear resisted by the steel reinforcement. Now the shear force per meter height will be Vu is equals to H into 1000 divided by D1. So this is the D1, this is the horizontal force, so multiply by 1 meter height, so per meter force you will get, and that divided by this lever arm distance D1 between the two bars, you will get the shear in the hook bars. So this is the shear force per meter length in the hook bars. And equating 1 and 2, you will get the stress equals to H times S by 2 times A5 by D1. Okay. Next is the temperature stresses. We have seen the stresses due to the self weight, due to the moment, due to wind load, and now we have seen the stresses due to the horizontal shear, and now we will see the temperature stresses. Now, the temperature stresses are considerably reduced by providing the lining, but still there are some temperature variation on the inner and outer face of the concrete, so which generates temperature stresses. So this should be taken into account. Brick lining reduces temperature stresses considerably, but still there exists some temperature difference between the inner and outer surface of concrete shell. So let T be the temperature difference between inner and outer surface of concrete shell. Now this variation is a linear one. This is linear variation. We again assume that the temperature there is a temperature difference between inner and outer surface of the concrete core, and it varies linearly across the wall section. Varies linearly across the wall. So let us draw the wall section. This green one is the neutral axis. So this is the wall section. This is neutral axis. This red one is the steel. This is the outer face, and this is the inner face. Now the temperature variation will be linear between the outer and the inner face. So if T is the temperature on the inner face, now T is the temperature difference between the T equals to temperature difference between inner and outer face. On inner face, temperature will be more, which will be gradually reduced to the outer face. Okay, so if T is the temperature on the inner face and let 0 be the temperature on the outer phase. Actually, the temperature will be, let us say, T1 here and T2 here. Okay, where T1 is greater than T2. Okay, but the difference between the two temperatures be, let be T. So T is the temperature difference where T is equals to T1 minus T2. Okay, this is actually the temperature difference. Okay, this is equal to T1 minus T2. Where T1 greater than T2, or T1 is the temperature on the inner phase, temperature on inner phase, and T2 be the temperature on outer phase. Okay, so but we are interested in the temperature difference only. So let T be the temperature on inner phase and 0 be the temperature on the outer phase, and this variation is a linear variation. So we can find the temperature stress at this level. We can find the temperature at this level corresponding to the steel. Okay, so this temperature difference and temperature at this level we can find. So for that, let T be the Tc be the thickness of this concrete shell. This distance be Tc. Okay, and let this distance be A times Tc, where A is some constant. Okay, means it is this distance is some fraction of this total length Tc, and this length, let it be K times Tc. Again, this is some fraction of the total thickness Tc. So if T is the temperature over the length Tc, we can find the temperature at this level. So temperature at this level will be 1 minus A times T, and temperature at this neutral, at the level of neutral axis, will be 1 minus K times T. Okay. So this figure is showing the temperature gradient. Figure concrete shell. This is the figure for temperature gradient. Next, we draw the stress variation. So let sigma c be the tension on the compressive compressive stress on the inner face. Sigma C is equals to compressive stress on inner face, okay, and sigma S be the tensile stress in the steel bars. Tensile stress in steel bars. Okay. So this will be sigma S, but now we are converting this into in concrete divided by modular ratio. This distance will be equal to, this is A times K TC and this is K times TC. So this will be A minus K times TC. Okay, or simply, or you can write this A TC minus K TC. Okay, and this distance it will be K times TC. And this distance is A times TC. Okay, this is A times TC, this is K times TC, and this will be, so this will be A times, this will be A times TC minus K times TC. So here TC is the thickness of concrete shell, thickness of concrete shell. A times TC is the distance of reinforcement, distance of reinforcement from inner face, and K times TC is the distance of neutral axis, distance of neutral axis from inner face. Now we equating the compressive force per unit length to tensile force per unit length we get one by 2 K times TC times sigma C equal to TS times sigma S. Okay, what we are doing, we are equating C equals to T. So C will be equal to 1 by 2 into K times TC times sigma S. Okay, and this on tension side it will be sigma S times TS. Okay, now we can also write this TS. Now TS is equals to P times TC, where P is the percentage of reinforcement. Okay, so we can replace this. So therefore 1 by 2 k times, see this we know that as is equals to p times AC, some percentage of, we use area of the steel as some percentage of concrete section, say for example 1% of concrete section, likewise. So now here we are having the area of the steel for 1 meter length. So for 1 meter length it will be 1 meter into ts, this will be multiplied by p times 1 meter into tc. Okay, so this 1 meter gets cancelled, so you get ts is equals to p times tc. So that is why we are taking ts is equals to p times tau c. So 1/2 k times tc times sigma c equals to, ts can be replaced as p, where p is the percentage of the reinforcement in the section, p times tc times sigma s. Okay, so now tc gets cancelled, so you are left with sigma s equals to k times sigma c by 2p. Okay, mark this as number 1. Okay. Now from the stress diagram, you can use the triangular rule. So it will be sigma c by k times tc, means this length divided by this will be proportional to or will be equal to this divided by this distance. Okay, so from the stress diagram we can write using triangular rule or geometry of triangle, from the using geometry of triangle, you can write sigma c by k times tc equal to sigma s by m divided by a times tc minus k times tc. Okay, so again from this you will get sigma s equals to a minus k, because tc is common in the denominator, so it can be cancelled out. So a times a minus k by k times m times sigma c. Now equating 1 and 2, we get k times sigma c by 2p equals to a minus k m sigma c by k. So you can write k square equals to 2a p m minus 2k p m. Okay, so k square plus 2k pm minus 2a pm equals to 0. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. And the solution of this quadratic equation is, if you remember, it is x. If we have x square, ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, then the solution x is equals to minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So same, the solution for this will be k equals to minus mp plus square root of m square p square plus 2m pa. So this is the solution. Mark this as number 3. Okay. Now we stop here. If you have any doubt, we'll discuss now. And in the next class, we'll continue this derivation. So if you have any doubt, we can discuss now.